What are 3 skills you wish you would have learned before entering the Army?
The power of true delegation and elevation. You know, being a doer, wanting to lean in and work on things that you can do because you believe in yourself. It's great for the short term, but it's unsustainable. You know, I've had to learn that in business over a long period of time, that there is so much power in delegation and empowerment. When you empower people to do a job, give them more responsibility, more accountability, people thrive. They thrive in empowerment. That is part of building an amazing team, culture, and brand. Delegation, elevation is number 1. I'd say the second skill is patience.
How much patience do you have?
How much patience, and how do you handle that in front of yourself and in front of others?
Do you have a lot of patience?
I do now.
You didn't then?
In certain things, I do now. You know, building a business has taught me a lot about patience. Running marathons has taught me a lot about patience.
You're not going to get there fast. You got to take it easy, slow and steady, yeah.
You know what's funny is when I first started running marathons, if I had a 7-mile easy run for that day, I'd go run that 7 miles as hard as possible. Running marathons you can apply to a lot of parts of life. And my coach, my triathlon coach, her name was Natasha, based out of Austin. She would respond to my stories before I started working with her. And she would say, "You're running too fast. You're running too hard. You're not going to get faster."
Interesting.
So I decided to work with her. I was like, well, help me get to where I want to be.
So she's telling you need to run slower in order to be faster.
Right. So we sat down and we talked, and she said, "I understand what you're trying to do. You know, you want to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. And you would think that running those 7-mile training runs as fast as possible will correlate to running a really fast marathon, but it doesn't. What you need to do is you need to run below your max aerobic heart rate. You need to run truly easy. You need to be in an aerobic state. You need to run slower to get faster."
Why?
Because you're building this foundation. You're building a strong foundation that you can build a house upon. If you lay no foundation, no aerobic foundation, you can't get faster. All these track workouts and these speed workouts and these tempo workouts, they mean nothing.
In a marathon.
In a marathon.
Right.
Because you're not building it on top of this foundation. 26.2 miles is a long time to hold a certain heart rate and a certain pace.
Yeah.
So to run slower, you lay this foundation, you lay this base, and it's strong, it's bulletproof. Then you build upon it. That is patience. That is having the patience to run slower in order to get faster. You're taking a step back to get 2 steps forward. You apply that to
everything.
Your life,
Yeah.
everything. You know, now having a kid and being married and leading a team, without patience, you're struggling.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so patience. And a third skill?
The third skill, it is similar to the 2. And it is that you can go really fast alone, but you can go so much further together. I learned this by leading a platoon. I learned this in Ranger School. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about other people. You know, a few years ago, I did the Leadville 100 ultra marathon in the Rocky Mountains of Leadville, Colorado. It starts above 10,000 feet of elevation, and it's a brutal course. And that's one of those races that certain people can do by themselves. But me, I needed support.
Yeah.
I had a crew that would go from checkpoint to checkpoint, and they would tape up my ankles.
Wow.
They would feed me. They'd fill up my water. And we titled that documentary More Than the Miles. You know, those 100 miles in an ultra, yes, it's going from point A to point B. But what you don't see is what gets you there. It's the support, it's the people, it's the distance that everyone else achieves and goes through. That was a pivotal point in my life to realize, and I think a lot of people realize at some point in their life that you can go really fast by yourself. And early on in building my business, I had to. I had no other choice or option. By yourself as fast as possible gets you to a certain point. But for longevity, for endurance, for durability, a group of people will go so much further.
Yeah.
If I apply that now to building my family and building my business and team, and it pays off because there's no way I could get my business now to the point it is by myself.
Yeah.
I got it off the ground. I got it to a certain point, but it's here now because of the people involved.
Absolutely.